Hey everyone, it's Nick, and I hope you're having a good day. I'll get the boring stuff out of the way. I've made huge changes to the podcast recording setup and have paid a professional to handle editing. If things sound better, let me know, so I feel better about the exorbitant and unwise spend on a podcast that I don't even try to monetize. Today's guest is my friend Ed Zitron. Ed has been described as AI's biggest critic, has been all over the media circuit for a while now, and writes the wildly popular newsletter Where's Your Ed At? He also runs a PR consultancy, Easy PR, and very patiently listens to me complain about the insane things I've seen Deloitte do. So, without further ado, I give you Ed.
Anyone who ever starts a sentence with proprietary technology is probably just lying.
Genuinely, one of the reasons we stopped working with startups this year is the founders kept talking about their proprietary technology. Every time one of them has used the word IP, when we have looked under the hood, it has turned out there is no product.
Just an LLM? Or just literally nothing?
Literally nothing. Frequently,
Hell yeah.
Frequently, what they try to hire us for is they go, this product doesn't exist. Can you figure out how to make an LLM do it?
Right.
So they haven't even gotten to the LLM point. Like they're pretty...
Right. Are they taking money from people?
Yeah, quite a few of them are.
What for, though, if the product doesn't exist?
It's pretty interesting. Some of them just do some work manually and say that AI is doing it, which obviously is not like actually a business model because they're charging a very, very low rate because presumably AI is doing it. That's the benefit of their product.
But this is what Builder.ai did.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm not so familiar. What did Builder.ai do?
They claim they were building software, but it was just shipping it out to teams of guys in India.
The classic AI actually Indian.
Which fucking rocks. I just love that. It's just like so obvious that would fall apart eventually.
I'm writing something about this, but something that has really struck me is, like this mythology of the software founder that people like Paul Graham have put out, startup founders. It makes it sound like there's such fascinating, innovative geniuses who can get millions of dollars when they're 20. And I'm like, well, no, you're borrowing millions of dollars because you have no risk appetite. Like you have a salary. Like that's not very brave.
Yeah.
And it just attracts people who want to be CEO without putting any work in. They're all, well, I shouldn't say all. I know like a couple of startup founders I sort of like. I will say they hate everyone around them. Like they go to founder meetups and they go, these are all criminals that haven't been arrested yet.
Well, I mean, right now as well, so much of it's fucking AI and so much. There's this guy on Twitter called Milo, who I love. He's like some Gen Z guy, and all he does is just be like, bullshit, AI rapper, but he's just headshotting all of these guys.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because so much of it is just crap. Like it's not like I used Claude Code to build 30 apps in 30 days, and it's just like you're jerking off. You're jerking off using Claude Code. Use your dingus. You don't need to use an LLM to jerk your penis.
I know what you mean. It's why I always think Data Perverts is like very funny because there is something a little bit masturbatory about how these people post about their LLM usage. It's like they love playing with the robot. They love telling people that they're playing with the robot. None of them are like shipping any software.
Well, where is the software? Like, where is it? Like, why couldn't, it's one, if these guys, I will tell you this, hand to heart, if these Claude Code freaks, like the people using this constantly, were shipping just really cool apps, like a thing that I use, and I'm like, holy like, I don't know, Flighty, for example. Do you ever use Flighty?
No, what is Flighty?
It's just a very, very, very good flight tracking app.
Right, okay.
Just very good. It works really well. It looks nice, but never seen a single bug with it. Really good for generally connected to all the different APIs. So that you know when your flight's delayed, and they usually know before the airline tells you. It's awesome. Like, it's genuinely awesome.
Right.
Like, that's a good piece of software. If that was what was coming out of this supposed boom of software, I'd be like, oh, okay, that's quite interesting. Like, that would, it's not. I actually don't see them shipping anything.
Yeah, so yesterday we were at a client site, and they have this, like, real old school sysadmin working there. So, someone who just, like, keeps hundreds of computers alive and makes sure your app gets deployed. The person that is largely responsible for doing things like not leaking all the Claude Code source code, right? Like that guy. This guy we're working with, he's incredible, right? He does everything with super bare metal, old school Linux commands. Like everything is just something called bash wired together.
Hell yeah.
And I looked at it and the first day we were like, hey, this is like a little bit too much bash. Like we went, maybe this is a little bit old school and there's probably a better way to do it. But he keeps just shipping results over and over. And it's like, well, I guess we're wrong. You can't argue with that. And I think all any of these guys would have to do is just fucking ship a product and make some money. And I'd have to shut up. I would just have to be good. This one good thing.
Yeah, just a product. Just one. Just one thing I could look at. Just one. Show me a fucking product. And that's the crazy thing. Like, have you been watching Gary Tan recently? You had a look at Gary. You looked down. I assume you're taller than 5'1".
Oh, I didn't know he was 5'1".
I truly don't know his height. I think he might be short, but I truly don't know. But have you seen this G-Stack thing he's talking about?
What is G-Stack?
Well, that's a good question. It's his exact Claude code set. It's just his Claude code.
Oh my God! Wait, yes. Wait, this does sound familiar. I didn't realize that was.
And he just talks about it constantly.
I didn't realize the G stood for Gary. I've heard of G-Stack. This is the thing that's
Gary Stack.
It's just his prompt, right? Like it's just a bunch of markdown files.
It's so cool. I think that like this era has really been the one that black-pilled me as far as smart guys go. Like I don't really like think any of them are smart anymore. Like, wow, you sure blog a lot, but do you know what you're talking about? And then you read anything they say and you're just like, oh God, why do all the money people have lead poisoning? Why?
Yeah, something interesting is the first time I heard Mark Andreessen talk about something, he was on some podcast somewhere. It might have been Sam Harris's, and he was talking.
That's how you know it's good.
Yeah, that's how you know it's the good stuff.
That's how you know the Wagyu of opinions.
He was on there and he was talking about Facebook's ethics policies, right? And his involvement
oh boy.
And he was like pretty critical of Facebook in there. And he sounded really coherent for about 45, 50 minutes. Bits of it sounded like a little bit off, but I was like, I don't know. It's just like an old dude talking. He's forgetting things. He's just saying some silly things. He thinks he was maybe more important in this interaction than he really was. But overall, I was like, oh, this guy's fine. And in the last 5 minutes, like right before he signs off and tricks me, he just goes with this fucking insane rant. And he's just like, and of course, that's why everything is crypto now. We're going to have NFTs. Everything is going to be Web 3.0, 4.0.
Oh, right.
And I was like, holy shit.
When was this from?
This was... I want to say 2021.
Okay. So, but what's funny about Mark Andreessen is had you told me this was last week, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
He said recently, he was like, I don't do introspection. I figured. Like, I've heard you speak, man. I've heard the things you say.
Someone told me about that. And I'm going to be honest. I straight up accused my friend of like, quoting him out of context. I was like, no fucking way. Like, that's not what he meant. And that's not what he meant. And then I looked it up.
And he 100% meant that.
That's like the fourth time that's happened this year. Like, someone has quoted one of these guys, and I've gone, that's out of context, man. Like, that's character assassination. You should do your research. And then I Google it, and I go, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think that there's also I've got a larger theory that none of these people actually know how to code at all as well. We've been talking a lot about this offline as well, but like Gary Tan, it's impossible to tell if they can't code anymore because they've got Claude Code like on 15 different terminal windows. It's that meme where it's like, I'm doing 1,000 calculations in my head at once and they're all wrong.
Right.
It's just so weird because they're acting like this is the future and this is the revolution and all this good shit. But then the more they speak on the subject, the more it becomes clear that nothing is happening, that they're mostly just spinning their wheels, and eventually, I don't know, everything will eventually just slow down and collapse. It's so confusing to me, and the more I hear them speak, the more worrying it gets.
Yeah. Well, I'm a developer, so I can weigh in a little bit, and I can say, there's no way, like, they were competent programmers. You sometimes hear people say like, oh, I can't program after using Claude Code. That's not quite how the skill atrophies. Like, you can get rustier and have to look stuff up, but the sort of mistakes they made and the way they describe they can't code at all anymore does not at all seem to represent how actual programming skill degrades. I think they were just always full of shit. And I've met a lot of people like that. It's very common to meet incompetent managers who say things like, well, I was a really good developer 10 years ago.
Back in the day, I did all kinds of coding. Don't ask me what it was, though. I'm busy.
Yeah.
I can't possibly explain. I need to go answer a phone call.
It's just like a sad cover, right? Because by claiming competence 10 years ago, you might then ask them a question. And then they'd be embarrassed. So they go, well, I'm bad now, but I was great. You can't ask me any questions. Like, this story is, you can't falsify this.
Well, I mean, that's basically Silicon Valley now. It's like, I did something 15 years ago. What'd you think? I'm a big boy now. You invest in my fucking company. Do it, you hog. Look, I did something. Yeah, what did I do? Don't ask me any fucking questions. Actually, you know what? I take it back. I give Gary Tan some credit in that he actually has the courage to show his ass on the main every single day, to just continually get his ass handed to him, while just like several hundred different Y Combinator perverts just say, Gary, you're so amazing, sir, like worm tongue style guys.
I will say that he doesn't strike me as a liar, just not very smart.
Well, I actually think that that's predominantly it with a lot of these LLM people. I don't think they're lying that they think that this is impressive.
Yes.
I think they truly believe they are being productive and that this is, maybe it is changing their life in the sense they can actually ship code versus just spinning their wheels. I don't know. But I don't think it, the more I think about it, the more I ruminate on this subject, the more I'm like, is this just AI psychosis isn't the right term, but like these things make them feel far more confident and competent than they actually are.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Look, I get it, right? When GPT-4, 3 came out, when 3 came out, I was very interested in it for about a month and a half.
Right.
And I went, wow, this is incredible. Like, if this thing gets a little bit better at programming and stops fucking making shit up, like, this could be revolutionary. And my enthusiasm has, like, considerably dampened. And part of it...
That's a load-bearing if.
Yeah, it is. It's bearing a lot of weight. And the thing that just struck me was, at some point, I went, I'm not actually producing more of anything anyone cares about.
Yeah.
I found it really helpful. So this was when I was still... fully employed, like I wasn't running my own company. It was very good for like doing stuff that I knew was bullshit. So if someone said, hey, can you write 5 pages of a thing no one cares about? I'd go, hey, ChatGPT, write this. No one's going to read it, so it doesn't matter. Right? I just need to tell the nerd that there's 5 pages of the pointless thing. Outside of that, I don't know. I know people who integrated their workflows pretty sensibly, but most of them aren't paying $200 a month. And if you're running a business, a tool that's not worth $200 a month is like probably not revolutionary.
Yeah. And the only use I've found for large language models is a form of search. And it's when I want to search for something very, very, very specific and see if there's a connection between these 2 points, such as like company name, model of GPU, server rack. And traditional Google search is not as good at that, but large language model search is slightly better. And I'm mostly just ignoring the output. I'm looking at the links immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, that's going to make $200 billion a year by 2030. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very likely. In fact, none of this seems very likely to me. OpenAI claims they're making $2 billion a month. That doesn't seem very likely to me at all. Like, absolutely no other software companies other than like Anthropic have been able to do that in the last, 15 years of new startups? Like, do any of them make that much money?
It's interesting because the hype is it's such a fevered pitch that I wonder if they make $2 billion just on companies signing up and not using it. I will say, at almost every big corporate client, most of them just buy Copilot or, something because they feel they need to be AI enabled. And none of the employees actually use it.
Right.
Which not necessarily to say it's not useful.
And that's across most software products though, right?
Yes. Like most employees don't use any of the things they have licenses for. It's fucking baffling. This is the Power BI problem, right? Like just everyone has a license. You buy it for the whole company because it's only $50 a seat or whatever. And then how many people use it? Like maybe 1% of them. It's just not terribly relevant.
But is that a useful business?
No, it's absolutely not. But like that's just how people buy software.
I think the stat on that is like 10% of software or something like. I'm just pulling a number out. It's something like 10% of software is unpaid, like is unused at companies. I know I have this stat somewhere.
Oh, it's probably higher than 10%. Like from my experience, it is like whatever the number is. The places I've been, it's like closer to 30 or 40.
Jesus Christ.
What you'll frequently see is things like, or, it's a difficult number because sometimes, like in a government department, you will have one team that uses something like SharePoint. And I fucking hate SharePoint, but, whatever, they're using it. And then you'll have like 8 other teams that don't, but they all have seats just in case they need SharePoint one day. And there's like a little bit of utility in the, once a year when someone sends me a SharePoint link, I need to look at it for 10 seconds. Like, was that worth buying it for everyone? Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I know Microsoft makes a fair amount of money out of just punishing people with SharePoint. And by Microsoft sources, there's always some sort of comment I read where it's like, yeah, working with SharePoint feels like being stabbed every day. I can't find anything on it. It sucks. It's slow. It's bad. I hate it. That's just... And the best was I saw a while ago some of the SharePoint Copilot comments, like, and just like from the pilot of when they originally did SharePoint Copilot, and it was people being like, "Yeah, it seems to get answers wrong a lot, but I could see a use maybe." It's just like the kind of shit that you want to see when you're starting a new business is people being like, "Well, it sucks now. Maybe it might be okay one day. But,
could be great at some point."
Yeah, I don't know. If I think about how it might be useful, maybe they'll make it that way. AI, baby, we live for this.
There's this interesting pathology that a lot of the AI stuff gets at, and I don't fixate too much on AI specifically because I'm not into the economic angle very much, right? Like that's the stuff you write about. I think it's very important. I'm just the guy that writes code. The thing that has been really apparent to me at a lot of my client sites is the degree to which, and this is not popular to talk about, a lot of people are just so bad at their jobs that anything that produces anything feels very productive to them. Like, you're talking about using LLMs for augmented search across like big bodies of text.
Right.
That's like a pretty good use. If someone gives me 1 million lines of code and they go, someone wrote this 8 years ago and I need to find the part that makes this button blue. It is a lot faster to just, go, hey, bot, where do you think that is? And they'll send me a line and I'll look at it and go, yep, that's the button blue line. Like that's fine. That's pretty speedy.
Right.
The way that most people use it is to read at all, not to read 1 million lines. Like a lot of people are like functionally illiterate. Like if you gave them an English test, they would pass. And if you gave them a 2,000 word essay, they would go 2,000 words. That's basically impossible. No one's ever read 2,000 words before.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't really realize this.
How widespread is this? Like, I guess most people don't read. Like, I guess that sounds reasonable. I mean, I actually no, I take it back. I had a reader even the other day, by which I mean several hours ago, email me and be like, Ed, look, what was Uber's subsidy? Like, have this big email about how Uber and AI, like Uber was a good comparison to AI, and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, did you read the email you're responding to? And they went, yeah, I did. I'm like, great. Did you see the section about Uber?
Right.
And they responded and went, oh, I'm sorry, I must have missed it. It's just like, I feel like I'm just biased because I get a fair amount of people that read 10,000 words of my work every single week. So, or maybe they're just lying.
The reason I raise it as interesting is this is like a novel insight for me. I only realized this over the past year. I was at some big corporate office in the fintech sector. And everyone I was working with was pretty switched on. But, it's a huge company. There's hundreds of teams around. And I just had to wait for someone. I was like, we're going to get coffee. They were 5 minutes late. I was just sitting next to 2 people doing their work. And just watching these 2 people with bachelor's degrees just like couldn't read. They were really struggling with basic logic in parsing a very simple email. And, you could see their titles. And I was like, oh, my God. The issue is that I'm sure LLM assistance makes them feel very productive. But it's sort of just, firstly, they didn't become productive because you need to know how to steer the thing towards like a reasonable result. You can't just accept whatever it says. But secondly, it is sort of papering over all these other issues with like education and how we raise people. And the sort of response has been, well, that shit's hard. We'll just make the robot do it. Did you see Melania Trump with the fucking sociopath AI education robot? Was this a thing you're across?
No, I couldn't bring myself to do it, man. That's the other weird thing as well. I keep seeing all these fucking robot companies saying they're shipping like 1,000 robots a year or something, but no one can tell me what they can do. And the only thing I ever see is like NBA stars kicking them.
Yeah.
Look, I don't really, but I didn't see the Melania thing just because I'm like, I don't need to listen to her be like, the AI is very good. It is beautiful. The robot power brain.
That's actually almost exactly what it was like.
Great fucking shit. Great shit. We live in
We're
hell.
in the darkest timeline. What fucking baffled me is she was, with that much money and power behind you, you think you'd have like fucking coaches for all the important shit you're doing. But she was like looking straight down at the podium, just reading off a sheet of paper. And I'm like, how are you so bad at this? Like, you can afford anything. You can have 50 people come teach you how to do this. You can rehearse as many times as you need.
Well, Nick, you speak to software CEOs all the time.
Yeah, that's an upsetting. Yeah, all right. You know what? Fair.
Like you speak to like look at Satya Nadella's my favorite one. Have you ever listened to him speak?
Unfortunately, only twice, and it upset me both times.
It really is extremely exhausting. Like, he'd had this thing at Davos where I forget what the question was, but it was something like really simple, like, why do you think AI will grow? And he talked for 4.5 minutes straight, maybe more. And I run a PR firm. Like, I've heard executives speak before, but it's like, you can't train that. You can't train out of it, and you can't train it. You can't train someone to have concussion speech. But he is just like, yeah, the way in which the engagement grows and the democratization of data with large language models and the gains we'll have with agents will allow us, I think, to have an extrapolation and an exponential beyond that which we've had with data for the last 50, if not 1,000 years. And you're just, by the end of it, your nose is just bleeding.
That's why he's in charge. Those are a lot of words.
But the thing is, he doesn't go and get someone to be like, hey, Satya, okay, so first of all, when someone asks you a question, have you tried responding in a sentence that makes sense? Or maybe that's the designer. I've never trained at like the massive hyperscaler Fortune 500 level. I've always been curious what those people are like, but I also have to wonder if those people are like, I don't know, whether they even accept training, whether they're not just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, how dare you suggest that I'm not amazing?
I think that's it, right? Like, they already think they're fucking incredible at it. So, and everyone around them is too much of a coward to say, hey, that was like really bad performance. You should go chat with the coach and get good at this because you do it every day.
We're already perfect. We're already amazing at this. There are times when I think about these things and I'm like, if I was just 50% more of a sociopath, what would my life be like?
It'd be pretty great. I mean, like, if you and I think I mentioned this before, what if we just
went evil?
What if we just pivoted next week and we were like, we tried Claude Code and this thing fucking rules?
No, it's like the why we left the left thing, but for Claude Code.
Yes. Oh my God, that's exactly it.
Yeah. Like, I was deceived by the left and the anti-AI people. And actually, the power of AI is here. They welcome me with open arms. They'd be like, oh my God, finally.
Yeah, especially because like everyone in the space, and it's not the AI space, it's just like this, everyone I hate, every movement I hate, I think they're all talentless hacks. And I'm like, if I went over to your site, I'd be a fucking god. I'd be the only guy that can write. It would be so easy.
I could probably raise money for an AI startup too. Because you do the skeptic thing and you'd be like, okay, as a skeptic, I know this company's for real. Doesn't matter if it is or not. Just yeah, sure. I spoke with my good friend Gary Tan, and he helped me understand Claude Code. And I would have just like awful software ship every week. I get 1,000 retweets every single time. Every single fucking time. Oh, it would be so good. But I would probably end up shooting myself in the head at some point.
It'd be hard to live with that. It would
be like a Howard Hughes style ending for me, I think. Like a Bud Dwyer.
It could get worse. I feel like there's a real risk that if you huff enough of it, like you turn into some sort of Lovecraftian horror, like you believe it.
I do think that that's kind of what happens to a lot of these kind of like early stage coders who touch Claude Code, because it can definitely do an impression of software. And I think that if you don't know what you're talking about, you could just think this is magic because you don't understand what it's puking out. I have definitely fucked around with these things, especially like the very, very, very little code I know. I fucked around with it very briefly and just been like, yeah, I'm already out of my depth. When I'm out of my depth, when I feel that, I feel like very anxious, not in a way where I'm like, oh, if a computer reassures me, I feel better. I just immediately am like, I don't want to fucking I don't want to touch this, man. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't want to, until I understand what's going on, I don't want to touch it. But I think other people have the opposite reaction.
Yeah, or I think their initial reaction is the same, which is they have that moment of anxiety. Something interesting in the tech space is there's like a lot of just general anxiety about people's intelligence. You see so much discussion of things like IQ, right? If you go on Hacker News, they'll be like, I want to study math. Some fucking guy, top comment will be, you should IQ test yourself first before you follow your dreams. It's like, what a sad way to live, just fucking do it. And if you're bad at math, you're bad at math.
Also try and get better. Because even like earlier on in this conversation, you're like, I don't really understand the economic side. I don't really know about that. Yes, you do. It's not that complex, but you're like hesitant to claim expertise in something that you're not fully confident in, even if you do know it. Most people appear to be the opposite. They're like, if they get even a slight functional knowledge, they're like, fuck yeah, I know this 100%. It's just me and the LLM to fill in the fucking gaps now. It's the dipshit uprising. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Part of why I say I don't know is also I'm aware of who I'm talking to, right? If you put an article out that says, hey, OpenAI hasn't actually got that much money, they have all these non-binding agreements. Even then I'm like, all right, well, Ed knows what that means. I don't know what non-binding agreement means, right? Like, if you make enough claims and someone takes you to court and says he really pinky promised me $50 billion, like that was really irresponsible, I don't know what happens or like how that gets resolved legally. I'm guessing no one does. But I'm just aware that the world is very complicated. A lot of people, I think, have that weird competence anxiety when they don't understand how a computer works. That's normal. But then the way they react to it's very different. Because I think stepping away and going, I want to understand this is like the healthy, responsible thing. What most people do is they go, well, I told the robot to do it and it typed some stuff and the app looks like it works. So I'm happy with that.
I'm just terrified of anything like that. I'm terrified of shipping anything I didn't read. I'm terrified of not understanding how something works because what if someone asks me about it and I have to answer them? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like on a very personal level, like that really bothers me. Like I cannot, like my editor, Matt Hughes, sometimes when I'm working on a particularly long blog, he will pull together some research for me. I read every fucking link and find some of my own. Like I have to, because otherwise I will feel this genuine sense of panic. Like I cannot, even though Matt Hughes, my editor, I trust him completely, 100%, 100%. Until I feel confident, I just can't do it. My brain refuses. Like I get like genuinely upset.
I get what you mean, right? Like what you're actually describing is also sort of like the antithesis to massive LLM pushing, which is you just want to be accountable for things you say.
Yes.
If something was wrong, you're not going to go like, oh, well, my editor said it, so I don't know, I'm not responsible. It's like, no, you are responsible. You said it. You repeated the claim.
Yeah, you repeat the claim and you don't really know, because I know you wanted to talk about journalism. We can talk about that a bit as well. But there is like, I'm not going to name specific names. People will probably be able to work that out. There's just a lot of stuff that gets published by people that don't seem to actually know what they're repeating. They're just like, yeah, sounds plausible enough. Ship it.
Maybe that's a good way to get into the topic because...
As a natural segue.
Yeah, it is a natural segue because one reason I don't write about AI stuff too much now is because I find it a lot less interesting than the general incompetence that underlies it. Every time someone goes, well, I just use AI for fucking everything I do, it just turns out they're really bad at what they do.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of patience for people who say things like, well, I'm very careful with it, and there's a class of problems where it just types faster than me or it reads faster than me, and then I double check everything it says, and I'm like, all right, we don't have a problem.
Yeah.
I think around the time we spoke, when I went to your podcast, I had to do, that was like my first exposure to journalists. because a bunch of people reached out and they said, hey, we want quotes from you.
And that was, when was that around? Was it around Pile Drive?
Yeah. Like, I'd written a lot of stuff that was quite popular with programmers, but nothing had really been popular with Gen Pop, right? A lot of my readers are now not technicians, so I have a million footnotes everywhere going like, this is what GitHub is, which is, I don't know if the traction from the writing, but otherwise no one understands what I'm saying. And I was really not that impressed with the vast majority of the journalists that spoke to me. Like, the interaction I had with them, I consider you a journalist. I don't know if you use that title for yourself.
It's something like that.
Sure. You know, when we're talking offline and you'll ask me a question like, hey, I saw this thing in the news. What does it actually mean from like a programming perspective? When I say something, you have like 8 follow-ups. You go like, what does it actually mean? When you say this is incompetent, like how incompetent? Like, why is it incompetent?
Yeah, what would someone doing that think? Or I ask you a lot of weird questions, but I think they're good.
Yeah, no, they're great questions, right? In fact, I would say they are exactly what should be asked. Most of the people I spoke to, they would go, hey, what do you think about what the CEO said? And I would give a preliminary answer and I'd wait for the follow-up and there'd be no fucking follow-up. Right, they'd go, cool, I have some out-of-context quote. It's not like people weren't embarrassing me or anything. They were just like repeating things I said in a context that made me look fine. It wasn't a problem. There was like no curiosity. It's like their conception of their job was to get quotes because articles are meant to have quotes. And that was the start and end of our interaction. I don't think they left any of those interviews smarter than before they went in.
Which is a shame, because ostensibly the reason you talk to an expert is to learn.
Yeah, or to talk, to get quotes, right? Just, if I get a quote, that can be a paragraph, and I need 20 paragraphs to publish on Monday, so.
When I ask you questions about stuff like coding, it's so that I understand it, so that I can write about it. As I guess I'm describing something which other people don't do, because the Uber thing I mentioned earlier as well, the reason I wrote in my latest, as of recording this at least, where it was like, I'll fucking pile drive you if you mention Uber and Amazon Web Services again, is most reporters I talk to, when I ask them about the economics of AI and how any of this works out, they respond by saying, Uber lost a lot of money, Amazon Web Services lost a lot of money. I don't think I've met a single one of them that can tell me the actual capex that Amazon Web Services cost.
Right.
Now, I, of course, got a spreadsheet done with this, and the answer is $52 billion after inflation calculations. OpenAI just raised, allegedly, an $122 billion round. Like, I don't know, fucking, how about that? Uber burnt about $40 billion before becoming a shitty kind of profitable. No one else wrote this up. No one else. Not one of them. I've looked everywhere. And it's like, this is the core rationalization of the AI industry. This is the entire argument. And they're still just like, yeah, it's Uber, right?
Yeah, work itself out. Yeah.
It's just Uber, you know? What about a .com bubble? That's another good one. These are the arguments I get. I don't get anything else. Like, I've looked everywhere. I've tried to look.
It is fascinating because, you know, that specific line of reasoning of, hey, they're losing money, but other companies have lost money and it's been sort of okay. I don't think they realize, like, that is a fully general counter argument, right?
Yeah.
So if OpenAI makes money, they're going to go, fuck yes, it's making money. That'll fucking show you. And when it's not making money, they go, well, they're burning the money to do the thing. That'll fucking show you. And like, so there's no piece of data on this planet that would convince you that they're not like, what are we fucking doing here, guys? Like, do you not see what you're doing to yourselves?
Well, I think what it is if you actually start thinking like I do, if you actually start being like, wow, they burn more money and venture capital's running out of money, everything feels insane. Just everything. Just you look at the world of tech and you're like, this is fucking crazy. Why are you doing this? You're all lunatics. How could you possibly wake up every day not in just an ocean of like sweat? How are you not? But to this day, the response is there was someone on the Reddit not long ago who was like, oh, you can't code, so you can't criticize AI.
So true. He's got you there. But I mean, to be fair, he can't code either. So
yeah, no, but what was funny was I responded to him being like, can you provide me with your LinkedIn? And he was like, oh, you're just trying to redirect like a PR guy. And I'm like, what? And then I just banned him. I got bored.
Oh, he was on your subreddit.
He was on my subreddit.
Oh man, that's like not the right place for that. I I thought you meant you found some fucking guy on.
He then messaged saying, unlike Ed Zitron, he's not technically incompetent, so he'll be back. And it's like, yeah, I'll just ban you again, dude.
Oh my god, are you saying this guy knows how to make 2 Reddit accounts?
Yeah,
Whoa.
We're dealing with a mastermind.
I think you might have just fucked with the CIA. Like, you gotta watch yourself.
you can't deal with it. But what if he's got a VPN? Oh no!
No, it's over. This is gonna be your last media appearance. You're dead.
Curtains for me. I don't know. It's so bizarre as well because there are some reporters that I talk to who are like, oh yeah, it's pretty fucked up, but things are and it always gets back to they've worked it out before. No one wants to even for a second be like, yeah, okay, this doesn't make sense. They can, however, memorize certain facts but never combine them. Like they can be like, OpenAI wants to burn $220-something billion by 2030, and OpenAI loses over $14 billion, I think it is, in 2026. But they cannot combine that into a thought that's like, okay, but how does that work out? They're just like, it will.
Well, you see, you have to put more tokens into the journalists so that they can construct a chain of thought.
Oh
like that's maybe the LLMs were inside us the whole time.
The Claude Code thing, like the big press push from December onwards, that really like that. I was already pretty black pill, but like seeing people talk about Claude Code, journalists especially, I was just like, every single one was, yeah, I made a personal website, which means soon it will replace all software. No, I said I wasn't going to name any names, but this one's publicly available.
Right.
So Deirdre Bosa over at CNBC even, she had an article on Replit, I think it was.
Oh, no.
I think I might link to you this. And she had an article on Replit with another writer, and it linked to 2 pieces of software. Just one of which it was a social network, I think, for like knitting.
Cool.
Except when you click to register, it broke.
You know what's particularly fascinating to me about some of this stuff is like Claude Code is good enough to get like the login screen to work.
Yes.
That is not like the highest level of engineering. Like that is not a hard problem, but it can do it. So when I see some of the software coming out, because not all of it comes from like journalists, like a lot of it comes from actual software people, and the fucking login screen doesn't work. And I'm like, you can't do this even with the magic robot that's memorized like the login code. Like this is not novel. It like looks basically the same everywhere you do it, right? You just change what database you're pointing to.
Also, there's just a slightly more simple thing, which was, I don't know, if I was putting it on the big website like CNBC.com, I'd make sure it worked.
Well, yeah, but that's why you don't work at CNBC, I guess.
And also, by the way, both apps are currently down.
That's cool.
It's just that is actually the thing that drives me most insane with the tech channels. Just like the no memory of anything, just things are said and forgotten almost immediately.
You remember that talk you were giving a while ago? You had to debate some dude.
Oh, which one?
The one where when I like stalked his websites, it turned out, even though he's a huge AI pusher, he just hired a company in India to do it.
Yeah, without specifically naming them, I can talk about it. But that one was great as well because he had a company that just shut down at one point. Like most of the companies he's worked on, which included both metaverse, crypto, and AI, all like mostly dead. It was just, there are so many people like that out there. And ostensibly, like, tech journalism would be about finding these people and ratting them out. But it doesn't appear to be. That guy, by the way, I was meant to do a debate with him for a hedge fund, and they have just stopped emailing me back.
Oh, sorry, the hedge fund stopped or he stopped?
Yeah, but probably because when we had dinner together, he brought up, like, he and I had like a back and forth, like I was made to say my piece and he was made to say his piece. And he said that the AI industry had $1.3 trillion of revenue in 2025.
Oh, cool.
And I said, that isn't true.
I mean, it's not even close to true.
Yeah, it's not even like remotely true. And then he said that Gartner said it was true and asked me if I would disagree with Gartner. And I said, I disagree with them about the metaverse, and everyone laughed. And then he started pretending he had jet lag. And then he left.
Cool.
Yeah.
Got him.
It's just like, there we go. It's really, is really funny how like little research you actually need to beat some of these people.
Yeah. It, and again, I don't think it's necessarily like a AI thing specifically. It's just the people like that have congregated at the like little madness temple to Sam Altman. We've just put all the insufferable people in one topic at the same time. They're all on about the same thing.
I also think it's just really easy to believe in. It's really easy to just be like, yeah, look, AI built a website kind of, and coders like it. This means that this is big. Like, we don't need a ton of connecting fabric to prove something like that. So yeah, this is big now because enough people say it's big. And I mean, your point you've made a few times. It's like, it's not an AI specific thing in that it's exploiting ignorance at scale. But I think what AI has done has shown how many ignorant people there are. You made a point to me in private where it was like, yeah, it's not that these people weren't idiots before. It's just that they managed to hide it better.
Yeah. A while ago, someone sent me a quote from Elon Musk. It was over email. And they said something like, he said this years ago, and this is actually like a really smart quote, but I don't understand how Elon Musk said it, right? He's so obviously stupid. And I just had this moment where I read it and I went, oh, that is a decent quote. And it just suddenly clicked and I went, oh, he's just repeating something a smart person said, right? Like so many of these people just get around by parroting things that someone actually intelligent said at some point in the past. And what really makes them show up as like incompetent in public is when they're given a new script because they can't evaluate sentences for coherence or intelligence.
Yeah.
So they just start repeating whatever's popular.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Literally what they last heard.
Right. And what really blew my mind was when we were like first really getting into... So the company's been running for about 2 years now, and I'm not broke. Like we've done pretty well. We're doing all right, which I love because a lot of people wanted me to not succeed. Not tons and tons. I think I'm reasonably, at least not massively actively disliked by the programming community. They're like, this guy's all right. But a couple of people took a lot of umbrage with a lot of things I said. And every so often I pull up an old ill wish and write a post about it and just go, fuck this guy in particular. Look how wrong he was.
Which is awesome. No, because there should be a tax for being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I certainly get fucking scrutinized all the time. The spotlight should be turned back.
Yeah, there's something... Because I know I got you into Taleb a few weeks ago. Like, you read Black Swan, I think.
Oh, yes.
So he has a later book called Skin in the Game, which is that most systems and lives are improved when you say things where you have some stake in it. It could be financial, it could be reputational. And something that, on the topic of journalism, I've not been able to stand is, I think one of the first AI-related interviews I went on, someone was asking me about a European company that produced AI influencers. Like literally just makes a fake woman on Instagram to thirst trap people.
Horrible.
And the CEO said something like, wow, we finally made a model that doesn't talk back or negotiate rates or anything like that. And this journalist was speaking to me. And look, I like them, so I hope they'll take this critique nicely if they ever hear this. But they went, what do you think about that? And I'm like, well, you've got a CEO saying he's made a woman that doesn't talk back. Do you need my fucking opinion on how degenerate this is?
Yeah.
like, why do you need to ask me? You're a woman. Like,
yeah.
This is fucking horrific. Why do we have to pretend you don't have an opinion about this very obvious thing? But so much of it seems to be this natural aversion to being on the hook for anything. Like, if OpenAI turns out to be super profitable and does a great job at everything, and it's the greatest business of the 21st century, I'll be very personally embarrassed, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually how it should be.
If I'm wrong here, I will explain why. I'll explain at length. I will explain in detail. I will point to the reasons why. Like, very straightforward. Like, I do not mind. I mean, I'll be embarrassed, but I don't think we're going to see the same from any of the AI boosters. In fact, I think that they believe that if this falls apart, like, people will just forget about it, which is the opposite of what I'm going to do. I've been keeping detailed notes for several years, like, of every single writer and most of what they've said and the dumbest quotes.
Yes.
Like, it's good. We need more of that. Because my version of what you said is much simpler, which is AGI is slavery. I walk through the same conversation with every journalist at the same time. They're like, AGI is slavery. Whoa, what do you mean? I'm like, you are discussing having a conscious being that you trap and make do work for you. And they're like, yeah, but it's in the computer. I'm like, it's still conscious.
Oh, yeah, right.
And they go, well, it's not the same thing. And I'm like, why isn't it the same thing? Because why are you so excited about this? And they're not very excited at all.
The greatest war crime of our generation.
And they sit there and they get mad about it. And then they just kind of sit here and they kvetch about it. And then they wipe the conversation from their entire life. They just forget that it happened and they move on. And that is how it goes every single time. No one updates their priors at all. And it just kind of nothing happens. And it's weird because, I don't know, isn't it kind of strange that we have an entire industry excited about new slaves? No one want to have that conversation at all? Anyone?
So before I was in tech, I was in psychology. And just weird fact about my university is they had a lot of units on consciousness. And the discourse on it, especially the AI tech space, makes it really fucking obvious that like no one has opened a textbook ever, right? Like they'll just make shit up
in software engineering.
Yes, yeah. In software engineering, they will just say all sorts of shit very, very confidently about like the nature of consciousness and what could make a computer conscious, what could make it conscious. But like the fundamental fact is if you have anything like AGI and you purport to know what makes it conscious and it's going to be this incredible thing, and it's trained on a shit ton of human text, like it's probably going to have human-like consciousness. Not maybe human-like in the sense it's 99% like a human, but you only need it to be like 1% like a human before it's like the worst crime imaginable. Like taking a mind and making it do your SharePoint work all day is unforgivable.
Yeah, no conscious being should interact with SharePoint, human or otherwise. Like no one should be forced to use SharePoint at all. But it's funny as well because these conversations happen, I have them, and then the journalist forgets them. In fact, that's most of my conversations with journalists. Nothing I say, I don't even know if it's that they disagree with me or that like the amount of changes they would have to make to their reporting and lifestyle are like just incompatible with my thesis.
I suspect it's well, I was going to say it's definitely a fair bit of number two, which is, like, oh, this is asking too much. One of the changes is having to think, which, like, for a lot of people is...
No, thank you.
Something that really changed my perspective on a lot of this was I know a very, very smart programmer by the name of Daniel Sidian. I actually don't know how to pronounce his surname because it's an assumed name. His actual name's like Bernardo. But in any case, Bernardo Daniel, he was talking to me about 2 years ago, and he really transformed a lot of my programming practice when he critiqued me for not reading stuff slowly enough. And I already read like a lot more than most people I know. But he went, why are you rushing to, write this code? You could take a whole week to read a book on this topic instead of 5 hours to get the thing ready. And we had a long discussion about this, and I said, well, don't I want to be more productive? Like 5 hours is already a lot more than a lot of people read stuff they're working with. And he goes, what's the rush? 1 week, 5 hours, like it's all kind of the same on the scale of a business. And a thing he said was that people hate thinking.
Yes.
And at the time...
Yes.
So I think you already know where this is going.
No. I keep going, please.
So when he said people hate thinking, I objected at first. And I said, isn't that like sort of myopic? Like people think, we're not the only people who think. But what he was actually saying, it took me about 6 months to figure it out, was he didn't mean people were lazy. People work very, very hard, but they don't like thinking as like a discrete category of labor. So if I say, hey, go write a bunch of code you don't understand and wrestle with Claude Code for 8 hours straight, just fucking going, robot, don't do this. Don't do this. I said, don't do this. They're like, that's fine. For whatever reason, they're okay with that category of labor. If I say, sit down with a piece of paper and, put on some music and just write down your plan for 8 hours, they're like, no, I hate that type of work. It's like deadlifting or something. I hate how it feels. I don't want to do that. But I'm not lazy. I will go I'll spend 8 hours very unproductively. And that really blew my mind. Because there's lots of things I don't do. Like I was a shitty piano player and things. But
It reminds me, Cal Newport, Georgetown professor, great guy, software engineer. He made the point in a video I have yet to watch. I've simply read notes about it. I've read a few things he wrote about it. I've just not had the time, Cal, I'm sorry. But he makes the point that people don't like concentrating. Like kind of a similar thing where it's like people will happily get a summary and take action from that. Kind of almost exactly what you're saying, but just slightly reframed. But it's people just want to avoid the process of having to focus on something and make a decision. Like that's really that is really, really hard for them. It's also because when you start thinking about things, you have to do introspection. You actually have to consider, well, what are the ramifications of this? What if I'm wrong? What if I'm right? What if this happens? What if this happens? And things can become remarkably complex when you do that. So it's much easier to just move in a straight fucking line.
Yeah, I think deep work, right? Like I read that when I was back at university, and I think it influenced a lot of how we run the business. Like we make sure people have time to sit down and think. And it is always acceptable here for someone to go, hey, like I feel rushed. We need to stop. I need to go think.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not making a decision about this right now. And everyone will fucking shut up and move on, right? We're like, all right, if you think we're rushing into this, we're rushing into it. You're not going to be criticized for that.
Yeah, and I think that also it's fine to admit you don't know stuff. I think that growing up, not being a smart child, I went to a private school and I was the dumbest child in the private school. I was like bottom of my class. Turned out I was like ADHD, autistic, just we didn't have those things in England. Okay, we did, but they didn't want to say I had them. So they were just like, he's just fucking stupid. But it gave me a magical thing, which is I don't assume I know anything. I just don't. I can't. Like, it's not how it works. Like, if I don't fully feel confident about something, I don't know, I will dig at it until I understand. I'm not perfect. I'm sure I make fucking mistakes.
That's why I keep saying you should become a programmer, because those are good characteristics. I do think you would go... I don't think you would enjoy being employed as a programmer, but I think you would enjoy programming.
Yeah, and I think as well, like programming is really difficult to learn, and I can't just do it on an app that lets me fill in boxes, and I also need time. But it's something where it's funny, whenever I bring up I'm learning to code to people, the first comment is always, "Oh, what are you going to do with it?"
Like, I don't know.
What are you gonna do with it? I don't know. I haven't decided. I'm learning it so I know something new. And they're like, right, but what's the plan? What are you going to do with that? It's like, I don't know. Stop asking me questions.
I want to start doing this whenever someone like picks up the guitar. I'm gonna be like, what are you fucking doing, pal?
Why?
Why are you
Why are you
picking up the guitar?
Put that thing down. The power of rock and roll. You can't handle that. What if you start a rock band like Jukebox Hero? I listen to Foreigner. It only takes one guitar and then disasters happen. Now, I wish more tech reporters knew how much fun it is actually digging into stuff, because, I don't know, making a good living out of it. Well, the newsletter's growing nicely. But on top of that, I'm building a body of work. I think I've got over 1.5 million words online now, and I know my arguments. Like, I can link back to myself. There are things which I guess is good SEO, but that's not why I do it. It's like, oh yeah, I said something about this a year ago. I wrote a thing about the SaaSpocalypse. I wrote a story with the URL SaaSpocalypse now in 2024. Like, you can just learn stuff and file them away for the future. I remember Daran Acemoglu, saying his name probably terribly there, this MIT economist who's quite well known. He said to me that a lot of what changes the world isn't the immediate like deployment of information, but the building of ideas over time.
Yeah.
And so it's like putting these ideas out there or learning something doesn't mean it's immediately useful. It just means that you might pick up, like, it might be useful in the future, or maybe it isn't. You just know something new. And it's just it's frustrating that people aren't more curious.
Yeah. Look, on one hand, I'm like, society still mostly functions. So I'm glad we can get by without everyone having that foundation. I'm actually, that's my magnum opus for this year is a piece on this. I don't think it's going to be very popular because it's too thoughtful, but I think it'll be the best thing I've ever written. But
tell me more.
So, okay, I'm gonna get deep into it. So one reason Taleb was so helpful, informative when I was, in my early 20s, was the core thesis in The Black Swan is that people really over-index on clear narratives, right? They want everything to follow this clear pattern of like A happened and then B happened and then C happened. People will latch onto the first theory that fits any set of data they observe. Most of my education in psychology, one of the reasons I left psychology, is so much of it was people just retrofitting theories to random things they observed in the lab. Right, they just came to a conclusion and then it was fucking over.
Right.
Something I always find funny about psychology is I, frequently critique it and I go, and I was like a solid student, right? I think I was like the top graduate coming out of the university I was at, which is like a good one in Australia. And like, I didn't get there by really engaging with the content. I just very quickly worked out what the lecturers wanted to hear, and then I wrote that down, right? It was very, very callous and manipulative, but it absolutely worked. And coming out the other end of that, people would go, what do you know? You're not even in psychology anymore. And I go, well, any of this shit worked, wouldn't psychologists be all the CEOs? If they actually had some edge over manipulating people, and they're good in clinical context, but there's actually not. That's not to say psychology is not useful, but psychology degrees definitely are.
Because I'm halfway through The Black Swan now, the bit you're talking about in particular is his most influential. I can't remember if he said it was his favorite or was his most influential, was this book, which was a journal of the lead up to the rise of Hitler.
Right.
And how what was useful about it was divorced from the world of narratives. It wasn't someone retrospectively saying, Hitler did this, Hitler did that, and that's how Hitler got there. It was a day-by-day, a week-by-week thing where he would he was just writing down what happened. And that was far more illustrative of what's actually happening than someone who looked back and said, well, this and this and this happened, and that's how we got the Nazis.
Right, exactly.
And I think that that really changed how I look at things too, because it's most of my work has just been writing down what's happening that week and building and building and building on top of it, rather than saying, oh yeah, well, the reason... In fact, no, I take it back. A lot of my work is hearing someone say something like Uber did this or the .com bubble and being like, is that fucking true? Not even oh, is there a narrative? Just what information informs that opinion? And it usually is not informed by very much at all, which is insane to me.
Right, exactly. And so this piece I'm going to write about is really how we systematically produce people who... Oh, no, that's totally fine. I didn't even perceive that as an interruption. I thought you were building on the point usefully. But yeah, the thing I'm gunning for is to really explore that, because I think we systematically do not give people the correct skills to navigate complex information. It's why publishing repeatedly is so useful, right? Because in a single essay, the literal form factor of an essay is linear. You have a first paragraph and a last paragraph, and you can't branch and come back very easily without messing with how the reader perceives it, right? So you have a straight line. When you have a body of work and it's hyperlinked, what you actually have is a big spiderweb graph network of ideas. Yeah. And for any given idea you want to explore, you just activate parts of the network, but not the whole thing. People don't really get that. I think one of the reasons executives struggle so much in so many places is not because of super inherent stupidity. It's that they learn to reason very linearly. And then someone will come up to them and go, hey, all these companies are laying people off. And they go, fuck, well, why can't I lay anyone off? And they go, oh, you don't have enough AI. And they go, all right, well, that makes sense, right? This happened.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Right, you provided a explanation, ChatGPT got invented, AI does something, we can lay everyone off, it's fucking great. I really wondered how many of these people were just sociopaths who were lying when, I first started the business. Definitely some of them are, maybe 20%. A lot of them are just really, the true believers, right? They don't know what's happening, but when sometimes the impetus for firing 10% of their staff will be someone came into their office and just said something I think we can fire 10% of the staff because of AI efficiencies. And they'll go, great. Good. Bill said it, so I'm going to do it. And that's literally it. And, earlier you said that thing, which was you haven't worked PR at the, how do we defraud people for billions of dollars scale? You're just not up there. And
no, it's because that guy was, you don't know how to code.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Like it was even better than that.
a little bit before that, you mentioned we were talking about Melania Trump, right? With the
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
whatever. Why can't they give coherent speeches? And you're like, maybe it's a clever metagame where they actually did hire a coach, and he said to act like a fucking moron. I would.
Well, no. I mean, or just ignore them.
Or just ignore them.
That's more what I meant.
Yeah, but I for a while I was like, maybe there's some clever metagame, and they understand that the people they're firing, like their jobs aren't actually replaced or anything like that. That's not it. They just don't know what they're talking about. They really do believe what they're saying.
And this is everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's not. I kind of understand why executive compensation is so high. It's not because like a normal executive is worth that much money. It's that every so often you meet someone who doesn't think that way, and they're actually worth $1 million in that position. So you just pay them all $1 million and hope you got the right guy.
Again, if I was more of a sociopath, it seemed I could definitely run Microsoft better at this point. I could probably do it better than Mr. Nadella. I don't think that the first thing I'd do would be I'd actually learn anything about my staff, because I talk to people at Microsoft all the time and they all fucking hate it there. I'd probably also learn how my company works. Doesn't seem to know that. God, it must be so sick being the CEO of Microsoft, though. I think about that.
Oh my, it'd be so blessed.
You just walk around all day with a big smile. When things go badly, you fire someone else. When things go well, everyone's happy with you. When things go badly, someone else gets blamed. It fucking rules.
It's a blessed existence. It's actually a little bit upsetting because a lot of the junior engineers in Melbourne, I'm Indian. A lot of junior engineers are Indian, and they'll come up to me and go like, "Oh man, seeing Sundar Pichai succeed, makes me so happy. I really want to be like him." And I'm like, please not him. Can't we get like a role model I don't fucking hate up here?
Well, what about Narayan from Adobe? That's another great role model. Just trying to think. Like, it's a real shame, actually. Because, like, I don't know. Nadella as well had like a very tragic story with his kid dying. And when he came into Microsoft, he genuinely fixed it. Like, because Steve Ballmer had made them like the worst culture in a software company ever.
Isn't Steve Ballmer the developers guy?
Yes, he is. He's the
hell yeah.
He once threw a chair at someone.
That's cool.
He's like, but what's funny is I hear he's still like there, like he still pops up and helps people. By which I mean, that's the thing. Actually, I take it back.
At them.
I want to know. Yeah, exactly. Just fucking like Aeron chairs flying around like Twister. I want to know what they do all day. Like, I want to actually follow them around. Sorry, I'm getting us way further than journalism right now.
No, it's fine. Listen, being on topic is for losers.
Actually, that's the other thing I'll say as well. Like, I've yet to read a good CEO interview. I have yet to watch one, yet to read one. And people will say, "Oh, it's because of the PR firms, they stop you." It's like, no, that's not the reason. That's not the reason at all. The reason is people don't ask the fucking questions. Oh, it's an access game. Even in an access game, these aren't useful questions. They're not illuminating. Like, it's just like, oh, you what's AI gonna do for you? Fuck, that's crazy. Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, it's crazy. You doing an AI thing now. How do you use AI? Wow. Cool. And this is to someone worth hundreds of millions of dollars. This is someone who runs a company with a $3 trillion market cap. And the questions are like, what kind of ice cream do you like? Do you have sprinkles or do you have chocolate chip? Jensen Huang, do you have chocolate chip or sprinkle? Actually, I wish the questions were that interesting. Jensen would be like, I don't eat fucking ice cream. I eat gravel. I eat gravel I have a big cup of fucking gravel every morning because I fucking crush it.
I subsist entirely on tokens. That's what I eat now.
Tokens and gravel.
We need to make more tokens so I don't starve to death. It's humanitarian.
No, actually, my dream is to get one of these guys. And I was close to getting Dario Amodei.
Really?
I was so close. Yeah, but then I published their Amazon Web Service bills and they stopped responding.
Whoops. Oh, well.
Fuck. Don't know why. And I nearly got Sam Altman. But again, they always go quiet at some point. At that point, it's because I published their Microsoft bills. Again, not sure what happened. But all I want to do is ask these people, are you happy?
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be like, are you happy? What makes you happy? Because they're going to give a fucking insane answer here. They're going to just give the most bonkers answer you've ever heard.
Yeah, I would love to hear what makes Sam Altman happy. Someone I read he gave a quote somewhere, and it was like, oh well, I met my partner in Peter Thiel's bathtub at 2 a.m. and I was like, what the fuck?
What?
What?
Excuse me? Wait, really?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm not just like defaming him. Hold on, Sam Altman. I feel like
Altman met his husband Oliver in a hot tub 3 a.m. This is from a Reddit post, so I probably could look this up. According to his biographer Keith Hagee, in 2015, Altman met his husband Oliver Mulherin in Peter Thiel's hot tub at 3 a.m.
It's just like, I repeated that so happily, but now I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, did someone make this up? Like, that can't be true.
It's Keith Hagee, who is a Wall Street Journal reporter who has written a book about OpenAI. That's about as far as I'll go. So I actually trust they would quote something correct, because it was the only book about OpenAI that was actually approved by Altman.
Look at that sentence, though.
It's so good. It's so good. It's so good.
When you said, because you started with, I saw it on, you looked it up, first result was Reddit, and I was like, of course, I was wrong. It's just some fucking guy on Reddit making a funny joke.
You were wrong only in that it was 3 a.m., not 2 a.m., which I think is a material difference.
That's fair. I think 3 a.m. is a little bit more sinister.
Well, that's the thing. So if you're up at 2 a.m. in a hot tub, you foreseeably could be in bed by 2:30, which is a late night, but not too late at night. If you're in a hot tub at 3 a.m., there's a good chance you're up until 7. That means, because the doomed hours, you never want to be up at like 4:30 a.m. is an evil hour. Whenever I read about these CEOs being like, I wake up at 4 a.m. every day, I'm like, you're a fucking sociopath. That's an evil hour. That is not a normal hour to be awake unless you have like an important job like nurse or garbage man. And I'm deadly serious. I think garbage man is more important than Satya Nadella's role at Microsoft.
Yeah, look, if Satya Nadella fell off a bridge tomorrow, like, my life would proceed exactly as it is. If the garbage men in Melbourne stopped working tomorrow, it would be a fucking disaster, right? Like, I would notice.
Yeah. The other thing is with these fucking people is they're so joyless as well. You hear Sam Altman speak and he just, we do it. At OpenAI, we're changing everything. And it's just like, what do you do when you're not on camera? Do you just stare at a fucking wall?
Did you read Michael Lewis's book, Going Infinite, on Sam Bankman-Fried?
I did not.
It was quite interesting because he did get a lot of one-on-one time with Bankman-Fried, and he reported on what he was doing. And what he was doing all day was playing video games.
Sick.
Like, that was literally
fuck
it.
Yeah.
It was so fucking funny. Well, it sounds fuck yeah until I realized. The thing that really baffled me was, this kid's meant to be a super genius. And they were describing the games he was playing. Firstly, not very good games. But secondly, like, he was pretty bad at them. Like, they'd go, he was, bronze in League of Legends. And I'm like, you're playing like 50 hours a week. It's actually really hard to be that bad.
How the fuck are you staying in the bronze rank 50 hours a week?
You have to be extremely bad. Even like, it's very popular in Asia where I grew up. I was the worst person at my college, and I played like less than 40 hours. And I still wasn't bronze, right? Like, it's really hard to be that bad.
Yeah, I mean, but that's innovation, baby. That's like what these CEOs are. They are really good at being mediocre. And I think that people really, they underestimate how funny it would be to just ask them very basic questions and to just put them on the spot. Like, I want to ask Sam Altman, because did you hear about the thing about his notes, how he takes notes?
No. Oh, no. What is this going to be?
Oh, my God. So he went on a podcast. Yeah, this is a really good one. Prepare yourself. So he went on a podcast. It was about note taking. Seems normal. And he's talking about his various notes. And he's like, so I like write on these little notepads and I crumple them up and I throw them on the ground. And then, there's a big pile of them. And then the cleaning lady comes by when she's here and just cleans them up. And it's like,
what?
So you just sit there fucking just littering. And then the cleaning lady, and he was specific, was just like, Mr. Altman, can you just move a minute, please, God. Mr. Altman? I need to pick up the tissue. Mr. Altman, can you? That is a sociopathic thing to do. Even if you clean it up yourself, it's kind of strange to like just create a pile of trash. If I am creating that much trash consistently,
get a waste paper basket, you fucking weirdo. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, just get the bin. Just like get the bin.
Just get the I was expecting a second part of that sentence, but yeah, get a bin.
Just get the bin. Throw the thing in it, and the rest takes care of itself. But really, just like just get the bin. Just use the fucking bin, Sam. Unless he doesn't know where the bins are in his house,
which is possible. I think I think he doesn't know where like a lot of things are.
Yeah, he's like, well, there was this great article in the Financial Times about Sam Altman's kitchen.
I have read that.
Yeah, it was fucking amazing. What was great though is just using the wrong kind of oil and such. And he doesn't use that kitchen.
Yeah.
He is. And like, I get, if I was that wealthy, I'd probably have someone cooking for me too. Sounds nice. But I'd have like a good chef.
It's sort of baffling. I don't really know what's going on in the fucking guy's head.
These joyless vessels for capital.
Something really interesting is, so when I said Sam Bankman-Fried was playing video games all day, he was sometimes in calls with people. Right. So he would get on the line with Ariana Huffington and he would just be playing some terrible card game while, she's desperately.
Just Hearthstone.
Right. I think it was literally Hearthstone and some like a shitty knockoff. Right. Like he's playing a bad version of it. And, you'd have all these rich people on there. Michael Lewis is in the room and they'd be, begging him for money or approval or clout or whatever while he's like barely paying attention. And did you hear about the like Sequoia Capital thing?
No, go on.
So he got caught playing video games in a meeting with Sequoia Capital, and then they gave him money after it. And
sick.
You might actually really enjoy this. If you look up the media coverage, it was just a bunch of breathless fucking morons going, oh my God, like he's so smart. He can have one of these meetings and play League of Legends. This guy is fucking, he switched on. And what we're obviously looking at is just like a complete dissolving of his executive function, right? Like he probably needed therapy and medication at that point, but was still running the company. And the framing was, no, he's a super genius. And like, here we are again, right? We have this fucking oddly sinister liar talking about how he just throws his notes all over the floor. And people are going to go, well, it just shows how zany and intelligent he is. And I'm like, no, this is a man whose life is in shambles. So like, what are you?
Also, what's on those notes? What's it like? Do you think their genius thoughts is just like profit ? Tokens profit ?
At some point, the person who cleans his office is going to come out with like a $2 billion
That's the
company.
thing. No, here's actually the proof that we don't have like a truly functional tech media. I would never do this because it's too much danger for me, but I don't know. I feel like someone would just go and find his bin.
Have a bit of a look through it.
I find his bins, maybe I was raised in the British gossip journalist era, but it's like, yeah, go find his bins, find his cleaning lady in his bins, be like, yeah, okay. Or I don't know, go to his local bar, work out where he drink there for 6 months, avoid him studiously, then turn up when he's there, and now you're a regular. Oh, it's journalism, baby. I don't need to do this. I analyze shit. I don't have time to go out and do such things. But if my job was to turn in a single article every week, that's what I would do.
Yeah, a few months ago, so we have a very famous guy in my specific subspecialty, data engineering. So his name is Joe Rice. And he had me on his podcast, and he was talking to me about Silicon Valley founder culture. And he was explaining to me, and I didn't fucking believe him for a bit. He was explaining to me that it has become trendy to have no furniture so that you can tell people like you're so busy and so important that your house is just an empty white box with like a dining table and 2 chairs. I just can't tell what these people are like. Either he's dropping his notes on the floor and is a dysregulated maniac who shouldn't be running a business, or he's lying about that and shouldn't be running a business. But like, there's no good outcome here, right?
I mean, also just the furniture thing, that's happened to me once or twice in my life where I've had barely any furniture. And both times it was because I was depressed.
Yeah.
It's just like I'd moved somewhere for the first time, and I was so like kind of because the 2 times I'd moved, it was due to like some big changes in my life. And both times it's because I didn't feel like bringing any character to the space. I was just miserable and I just didn't. And the moment I added like plants and photos, I was like, wow, I feel fucking great. This is so nice. I enjoy color and life. And there's like pictures of my friends, which I realize now might be where the problem is for these guys. Like, who do you think Sam Altman would have a picture with? Jensen Huang? Jensen
Huang and Sam Altman and Peter Thiel's bathtub at 3 a.m.
You like dog water. Like, I do really like Jensen Huang would never talk to me. I need to get one of these fucking people. Like, I need to get one of these like fucking CEOs on the pod, but it needs to be someone good. Like, I think I could get Mark Benioff, but people don't know Benioff well enough. Like, it needs to be like one of the AI CEOs, just because I bet that even the most normal questions, like, are you happy? Like I mentioned, or like, what do you eat for breakfast? Would genuinely, they would just be like, I don't know. I don't know. What do you mean?
Nutritionally perfect gruel. Claude tells me what to eat.
I don't eat breakfast anymore. Here's another one I want to ask them. What do you do between the hours of 9 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Be specific. Just like describe your day to me. Because like they won't. Like they're just like, I go to meetings and I grind. I email code, ? I want these people so badly on the pod. It's too hard to get them. Partly because, to be clear, they are right. They shouldn't come on my show. It probably won't go well for them.
No, it would go terribly for them. I know a couple of, I mentioned earlier Luke Cades, and something that really struck me was the first time we had a call together. I didn't record this, we were just hanging out. But we hopped into a call, and he had a bookshelf behind him. And it had a copy of Gödel, Escher, and Bach in it. And I just had this moment where I was like, Luke, do you read? And he was like, yeah. I was like, have you read that book? He was like, yeah, I love that book. And I'm like, God, imagine a CEO fucking reading like a hard book. They're all reading Malcolm Gladwell. Like that's what passes for like intellectual fare in their circles. You read Gladwell, you're a fucking genius.
I don't read a ton of books, I will fully admit, but I read a shit ton of articles and papers and stuff, which I tell myself is the same thing, even though it isn't. So I've like been pushing myself to read more books. So I'm working on like 5 at once, which is the normal way to read.
Yeah, I mean, you say you don't read that much. I think you're maybe overestimating how much other people read. Like when I give you a book, you usually start it within like a day.
Yeah, just because even if I could get through 50 pages just to get some footing in it, because I will return to it. Because this is actually my real sicko thing. I read all my books on my phone, on the Kindle app. It's fucking crazy.
Actually, this is your Sam Altman moment. This is like throwing papers all over the floor.
Well, I'll explain why it's not quite as terrifying. It's because my downtime is usually like either completely off the phone, watching something, like being with my girlfriend, or like going seeing a movie or something where I'm like intentionally moving away from like consuming literature, or I'll be like on the toilet in transit. And I have a coordination disability, dyspraxia. So like an extra book with pages and stuff, it's another thing that I can lose or fuck up, or like I just won't have time. Like I'll just like forget it in one place and then never pick it up again. But with like the Kindle app, I can keep on it and I can flick through pages and I can actually read and get even a few pages a day or a week done. And it works for me. It's an insane way to read, but it's the one that gets me reading. So I'm just kind of like,
oh, listen, that's so fair. Like whatever works for you, but
it's so strange.
If at any point, like you turn out to be an insane person, this is going to be the moment where everyone's like, well, he fucking told us, right? Like he was, he had a great excuse, but we should have known.
I mean, the insane person thing is that I learned economics out of spite. Like 3 years ago, I did not understand how to read any of this stuff. I just went and learned it because people told me I could not.
My first manager was this guy, David Coulter, who was a literature major, and he became like a principal engineer at the company I was at within like 3 years.
Very cool.
And he's very competent. And one day I just went, Dave, like, how are you doing it, right? Like you're in incredible shape. Like you're learning so much stuff. You've got like a literature background, but you're a great engineer. Like your life is so together. And I said, like, how do you find the energy to do it? And he looked off into the distance and he said, it's mostly spite. And I've really, really carried that with me for the past 10 years.
Like this little fucker who re-registered during this conversation, re-registered 3 times, and each time with a different name, and then immediately got all of their posts deleted because I turned on crowd control. What this little cock needs to know is I will absolutely learn to code one day. I'm absolutely going to do it. I'm going to learn, and not so that I could build software, but so that I can argue with software engineers.
Right.
That is my main purpose, is to be proficient enough. Just one day, I just start wading into online arguments with really specific grievances. And I think it will be like genuinely like the Burly Brawl from the second Matrix movie. Just like beating the ever-living fuck out of software perverts.
It's going to be tremendous. Just going back to an argument 4 years ago and going, that's not how the borrow checker works in Rust, you fucking moron.
Like, yeah, that's exactly. I don't know what that means other than Rust, the programming language, but I will find out one day just to prove it's possible. Also, because I genuinely want to know how these things work. If I could learn quicker, I would.
Yeah, no, I fully expect you to do it. Now, I'm aware I've taken us over time, and you're a very important, busy guy.
Yeah, I've just
That's fine. Listen, this might be like the least ranting someone's done on this before. So
wow.
I went, how do you make a different podcast? And I'm like, I'm going to click record, and they can just say fucking whatever they want, right? People aren't here for me. Now, normally I do the whole plug at the end, but I think everyone probably already knows where to find you, but we should do it anyway, just for symmetry. So where are the places people can find you?
BetterOffline.com. BetterOffline.com. You can find everything. Where's your Ed.at for the newsletter? You got every link on BetterOffline.com. Please listen to the podcast. Please subscribe to the premium. How I pay my bills. And yeah, that's where you find me.
Alrighty. Thank you so much for coming on, Ed.
My absolute pleasure.